I am pretty sure you're not supposed to watch this video because it was made for Mr. Good, so that I wouldn't be kicked out of the Zeros team. Yeah, you definitely do not need to see this. I'm gonna speak out on the topic of Brexit, and since I'm limited in time, of course I won't be able to cover fully everything related to it, like the border between the Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland, or Scotland voting to remain in the EU, or different types of the deal like soft Brexit, hard Brexit, or no deal, and even the memes. You can tell something has really caught on if you see memes about it, right? First off, what is Brexit? It is a huge mess, but an extremely beneficial one. So never before has the phrase "I am British" elicited so much pity, which honestly I don't understand because Brexit is the greatest thing that happened to our country. It came as an immense shock to most Brits when they woke up on the morning of the 24th of June 2016 to discover that our country had voted to leave the European Union. Our Prime Minister had resigned, and Scotland was considering a referendum that could probably bring to an end the very existence of the United Kingdom. It was also something that, over the following several days, created a complete political meltdown in my country. To get elected in 2015, David Cameron had to promise that he would let the British people decide if we stay in the EU or not. Everyone took him serious, and unfortunately for him, he had to make good on that promise. But he failed, he resigned. And it got down as one of the worst self-inflicted harm a prime minister could do to himself ever in probably whole British history. He unleashed forces he had no control over and left us where we are today. It all showed us how divided our society is. The vote split along lines of age, education, class, and geography. Young people didn't turn out to vote in great numbers, but those that did wanted to remain. Older people wanted to leave the European Union, and geographically, it was London and Scotland that most strongly committed to being part of the European Union. While in other parts of the country there was very strong ambivalence. So I have one question. Why do people want to remain? I don't get it. Well, of course, there will be a lot of trade issues, tariffs and borders checks will potentially kick in straight away, and there will be economic uncertainty and job confusion and overall chaos. It could also spark food shortages, but who on earth cares about that? If we will produce our own food, our own medical supplies, we will get control of our borders and policies on migration. It will certainly boost our economy, especially now deal, and it will make us independent. The EU Parliament won't be able to create laws that have to be obeyed in the UK without going through the UK Parliament. And our country, as one of the wealthier countries in the Union, has been contributing too much money to the EU budget. And it's time to stop it. The UK pays somewhere around 12 billion euros a year to remain a member of the EU, which a lot of people think is a bit steep considering the fact that we don't even receive a loyalty card or a free hat. If we pull out, we won't pay a membership fee and also won't have to abide by European economic regulations. Many British companies won't face continued competition from European rivals, and the UK won't miss out on making trade deals on its own with places like the United States. We will be a completely separate economy from the EU, and there is an argument that we will prosper as a result of that. So let's talk about free movement. If you're a member of a country in the European Union, you can work wherever you like and move around freely without a visa, which is why the UK is being flooded with immigrants who are using welfare without justification, stealing our jobs, bringing in crime and terror. There are countries like Australia and Canada which have already border control. So why can't the UK do the same? And speaking of terror, another factor that pushed Britain towards the exit was terrorism. A string of attacks, some carried out by immigrants, had hit Europe, including the devastating November 2015 violence in Paris that killed or injured nearly 500 people. And I don't want the same thing happening here in Greece. So for those reasons and lots of others, many Brits think pulling out will hopefully restore former glory, tighter borders, and better sovereignty to our island nation. However, Brexit is creating sort of poisonous, hateful atmosphere, and this country is in a pretty messed up state. We've got media which hasn't really done this question any justice. We've got politicians nobody trusts. We've got all sorts of divisions. And it's really not the greatest time to throw at the country this very simple binary question.